Guys, this is Mr. Grice for Algebra 2, Chapter 5.3 notes. That's right, Day 2. Today we're continuing our discussion on solving systems by using elimination. Our learning target today is to be able to solve linear systems with one solution, no solution, or infinite solution by using elimination. So let's go ahead and get started. So the new parts of today is that we're going to be talking about these special cases. Now, what we talked about yesterday is when we're planning to do elimination, the first thing we want to make sure is that our variables are lined up on the same side. So our x's are lined up and our y's are lined up. Now, when I'm getting ready to cancel something, I want to make sure that it's going to be easy for me to get them to be opposites and the same thing. So if I'm looking at the x's, how would I make that 4 into an 8? What would I need to multiply by? Yeah, I would need to multiply by a 2. So when I multiply, I am going to multiply everything in the top equation by 2. Now, I didn't do anything to the bottom, so it stays the same. We get negative 8x plus 6y equals 13. Okay, well now we just add everything together. 8x minus 8x, those cancel. Our y's, the negative 6y plus 6y, those cancel too, and when everything cancels, we're left with a 0. Now, remember we're adding 18 plus 13 is 31. Now, you need to ask yourself, are we left with a true statement? Does 0 equal 31? And the answer is no, it does not. So this is no solution. Okay? And if you're super lazy, you can do the 0 with the line through it. Okay, example number 2. Once again, before we get started, we're checking our x's and our y's lined up. Yes, that means we can do an elimination. So this time, I think it's easy to cancel the x's again. So 4 and 8, well, we just talked about it. We need to multiply by 2. Except what kind of 2 is it now? Since they're both positives, I need to multiply by a negative 2. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8x. Negative 2 times 6 is a positive 12y. And negative 2 times 9 is negative 18. We just have to be very careful with our signs. Okay, and now we are left on the bottom equation. It stays the same. Do not change anything. Okay, now just like we planned, the x's cancel. But then look at our y's. Our y's cancel too. So on the left side, we're left with 0. Now on the right side, negative 18 plus 18, guess what? That's 0 too, and we're left with a true statement. So when we're left with a true statement, our answer is infinite solutions. Okay, so infinite solution, and that first one was no solution. Okay, let's look at example number 3. Our x's and our y's are all lined up. And I think it's going to be easy to cancel the x's. So what do I need to multiply the bottom equation by? Yeah, we need to multiply by 2, and it has to be a negative 2. Okay, so right away I know my top equation is staying the same. And now let's multiply by negative 2. Negative 2 times negative 3 is a positive 6x. Negative 2 times 3 is a negative 6y. And negative 2 times negative 9 is a positive 18. Okay? We have to be very careful with our signs. Negative 6x plus 6x cancels. Same thing with the y's, they cancel. So when everything cancels, we're left with 0. Not 0x or 1x or 1y, 0. And then negative 18 plus 18 is 0. Is that true or false? Yeah, that's true. So our answer is infinite solutions. Now, if we're thinking of the graph of infinite solutions, remember that's when two lines are on top of each other. Okay? All right, last one. Now we have 10x minus 5y equals 15 and 2x minus y equals negative 3. Now, just looking at this, I see the y's are the easiest thing to cancel because that's just a negative 1 for the y on the bottom, okay? And if I multiply by negative 5, it'll turn to a, positive 5. So I'm going to rewrite the top equation because I'm not changing anything. And now let's multiply. Negative 5 times 2 gives us negative 10x. Negative 5 times negative y gives us a positive 5y. And negative 5 times negative 3 equals 15. And you see we have to be careful with our signs right there. Okay. Now, the x's, well, they end up canceling, and the y's cancel. So we're left with 0. And that's 15 plus 15. If you didn't change that, you would have gotten infinite solutions, and that's not infinite solutions. We're left with a false statement, so it is no solution. Now, if we were to graph no solution, that would be two parallel lines. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Now, we're calling this the in-class practice. You can work alone or solve this by using elimination. Be careful because it can be one, none, or infinite solutions. So we've mixed everything that we've gone over the past 2 days. Okay? So I guess I'm going to be your partner. Now, our x's and our y's are lined up, and I notice that our y's are opposite and that there's a 1 right there. Okay? So if we multiply the bottom equation by 2, we're going to be able to cancel them. So my top equation stays the same, the 5x plus 2y equals 7. And now let's multiply. 2 times 3 gives us 6x. 2 times negative 1 is negative 2y. And that's going to equal 2 times 13, which is 26. Okay, now just like we wanted to, the y's cancel, but 5x plus 6x is 11x. 7 plus 26 gives us 33. So they didn't cancel, which means we're just going to solve. We're going to divide by 11, and we get that x equals 3. Okay, so in my final answer up here, I know that x equals 3. I just need to find out what y is. Okay, so to find out what y is, we're going to plug into one of the original equations. I'm going to pick the one with the least amount of negatives. So I'm going to do the top equation. And then we're plugging in 3 for y, or for x. Okay, so 5 times 3 gives us 15, plus 2y equals 7. And now we're just solving. So we're going to subtract 15 to both sides. We get 2y equals negative 8. And then to get to y by itself, we have to divide by 2. And negative 8 divided by 2 is negative 4. So we get the ordered pair of 3, negative 4. See, they're not all going to be infinite or no solution. Okay, number 2. What do you notice? Yeah, I notice that the x's are lined up. And one's positive and one's negative. So 2 and, yeah, just multiply the top by 2. Okay, so we get 4x plus 10y equals negative 4. Now on the bottom we have negative 4x minus 10y equals 4. So perfect, our x's cancel just like we planned, but what happened to the y's? Yeah, those cancel too, and we're left with 0. And then on the right side, negative 4 plus 4, that's right, those cancel too, so 0 equals 0, which is a true statement, which means our answer is infinite solutions. All right, let's go ahead and flip it over. Are you guys ready to try one on your own? Okay, why don't you see what you need to multiply by for number 3 and do that first, and then we'll cancel everything together. Okay, pause the video and good luck. Okay, so I decided to multiply the bottom by negative 2 to cancel the x's, because negative 2 times negative 2 gives us a positive 4. Now, just like we planned, the x's end up canceling, and now we're going to add everything together. I get 11y equals negative 22, and then when I solve for y, by dividing by 11, we get that y equals negative 2. Okay, so that tells me that y is negative 2. Now we have to figure out what x is. Okay, and you can plug into either equation. I'm just going to pick the bottom one. Okay, so we have 2x minus 3y equals 8, and we're plugging in negative 2. So we get negative 2x. Negative times negative is a positive 6 equals 8. And now we're just solving using SAT map. Subtract 6 to both sides. We get negative 2x equals 2. And yeah, divide by negative 2. When you divide by negative 2, we get that x equals negative 1. So we found the ordered pair, negative 1, negative 2. Okay, let's look at number 4. Once again, I want you to think about what you're going to multiply by and multiply the equation out. Go ahead and pause the video and good luck. Okay, so you should have multiplied the top equation by negative 3. You could have been trying to cancel the x's, or you could have been trying to cancel the y's, because look what happens. Our x's cancel and our y's cancel, so we're left with 0. Excuse me, and then we have negative 3 minus 5, and negative 3 minus 5 is negative 8. Does 0 equal negative 8? Not last time I checked. So then we're left with, that's right, no solution. Okay, now for those ones, I let you multiply and then we solved for the first variable by ourselves. This time, you guys are going to multiply solve one variable by yourself, and then I'm going to come in and then we're going to solve for the second variable. Okay? So go ahead and pause the video and good luck. Okay, so what I did do was I canceled the x's by multiplying by 2. My x's cancel, and then I'm left with negative 5y equals negative 10. Divide both sides by negative 5, and we get that y equals 2. Okay, and then it doesn't matter which one you solve for. The x is actually by itself in the bottom, so that's what I'm going to plug into. And that y equals 2. So negative 2 times 4 is negative 8. And then to get to y by itself, all we have to do is add, or the x by itself, I'm sorry. And then we get that x equals negative 4. Ta-da! Negative 4, positive 2. Okay, same thing with number 6. Now, be careful here because this is one where we have to multiply the top and the bottom. So what I would do is look for the variables that have opposite signs already. Okay, so multiply the top and the bottom, and then solve. Okay, pause the video and good luck. Okay, so you should have multiplied the top by 2 and the bottom by 5 to cancel out your y's. When you combine the equations, you get 38x equals negative 76. Please remember to watch your signs. And then when you divide both sides by 38, we get that x equals negative 2. Oh, I forgot to write negative 2 up here. Okay. And now when solving, let's see. Let's just go with the top one. So we have 4 times negative 2 plus 5y equals 7. And plug in the negative 2. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. Okay, and now solving. We have to add 8 to both sides. We get 5y equals 7 plus 8 is 15. And to solve for y, we're going to divide by 5. And what does y equal? That's right, y equals 3. Okay. 7 and 8, guys, you are all on your own. Okay? You're going to do them both. So pause the video. And then when you're done, you're going to see my work and my answers. Okay? Good luck. Okay, guys, and there's my answer. For 7 and 8, we get 3, negative 2, and negative 1, 5. Now, remember, if you need any help with that, or extra assistance, or was just no clue, come in for help. That's what we're here for, guys. Okay? Well, your homework is below, the 5.3 practice day 2. There are mixed answers, so guess what? If you just have a sheet with answers in it, you don't get any points. Okay? Well, this is Mr. Grice signing off for Algebra 2, Chapter 5.3, Notes, Day 2. Thanks for watching.